How to assess old books like a professional rare book dealer. Today I'm going to be talking about condition issues in 19th century books. I'm going to be focusing on post-1820 or so 1820 to 1900-ish, because before that is what we call the hand press period, which used very different printing technology. And let it be said that I'm speaking of European printing history traditions as well. This is a copy of the second Jungle Book. It was published in 1895. It is the sequel to Rudyard Kipling's classic Jungle Book. This is going to be my example for today. The first thing that I'm looking at in any 19th century book like this is I'm checking the hinges. Right here. This is the hinge of the book. What I'm checking for is to see if the hinges here have cracked or completely broken. There's a tiny bit of cracking happening here, but they haven't broken. They're actually quite firm despite a little bit of cracking. I'm looking for that because the way the books were bound in this era was not very strong, was not very tight. They easily fell apart, so it's one of the first things I check on a 19th century book is whether or not the hinges are holding. Next, I'm checking for foxing. Foxing is those little brownish red dots that you see on paper. In this era, the sort of 1840s up to the mid-late 19th century era, those little brown spots are pretty common because the paper is being mass-produced and it has a lot of impurities in it, and those impurities oxidize over time, and that's called foxing. You can see that there's only a little bit of foxing here. There is some, but very, very little foxing. It looks great. I would consider this a very clean copy. That's the word I would use, a clean copy. And then finally, I am looking at the rubbing that you might see on the binding. So in this era, this is before dust jackets rose to prominence as the main visual marketing element of the book. Dust jackets existed, but they were more to protect books in transit, for example, and there were actually stamped decorations on the boards themselves of the binding that were the main marketing element visually for the book. So here we've got this central snake. Gilt is the word we use for this. Gilt stamping, not gold stamping. And you can see it's been rubbed away a little bit. It's been slightly effaced, but actually it's quite bright and shiny. So that's another aspect that I'm looking for. And you can see overall this is quite a nice copy of a 19th century book.